Hey, doing a little check-in with artificial conditions. This is chapters 1 to 6 of it's number 2 in the Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells, published in 2018. This continues to follow Murderbot on its kind of quest that it's decided to go on. Um, as we left in the last novel, spoiler, it had rejected the offer by Dr. Mensa, the very kind of more liberal human beings in this corporate-dominated world that had bought up its contract. This is all spoilers for the last one, I guess. It bought up its contract and was saying, "Hey, you come. We'll be your guardian." In this freehold society, which you don't own people, but there's guardians, and you'll get to, like, educate yourself and stuff like that. And Murderbot was like, yeah, no, I don't want that. I don't want a guardian. I don't want anyone telling me what to do. And so it left, and that's how the last book last book ended. It sort of said, hey, I've went up to a kind of a simple cargo ship and said, hey, I've got all this entertainment stuff to share. I'm a bot wanting to get back to my master. So free passage for that, and agreed, and it had gone off. Now on this one, it's made it through a couple of rings, kind of posing as a enhanced human, which it sort of resembles as a when it's out of its armor stuff. There's that darn. Yes. That. Okay, sorry. Who needs to see my face in the middle of the night, or, well, as where it is. So it's gone onto a kind of a ring. It's posing its enhanced human. It gets onto another ship. This one is owned by a university and does kind of galactic celestial research and stuff like that, and it lets it on. The ship lets them on because it's apparently, just as when it's the off season, it just hires itself out as a cargo ship, unmanned cargo ship. Lets itself on, but it finds out, ooh, this isn't just sort of some simple program that's running this. The intelligence here is very vast and super powerful, and it immediately knows exactly what Murderbot is. And they have a bit of a T to T, and we find out this is ART, which is an acronym, which we apparently don't want to even know what the A stands for. Probably asshole, because at the beginning it's definitely a contentious relationship, and it definitely presses and challenges Murderbot in like what its goals are, what it wants to do. What it wants to do is it wants to get back to the mining site, where, as far as it knows, it malfunctioned and killed 57 people. Like, it was literally a murder bot, which is what it calls itself, and it needs to know, what happened. Did I malfunction? Was it the governor thing, that's the reason why it hacked the new replaced governor module that was supposed to kind of restrain all of its actions, because it believes that the old one is what must have messed up and caused it to kill all those people. But it doesn't know, because its memory was wiped after the thing, and it's at least all its mechanical memory was wiped, and it has sort of sense memory of all its organic bits, because it's a fair bit of it. A Murderbot is organic, like, it can pass for an enhanced human as it walks around a station, probably just because it's in a crowd and no one's particularly paying attention to it. And indeed, on the travels, Art says, like, you're not going to pass. Anyone looks at you even slightly hard, they will immediately know that you are not an enhanced human, that you're a rogue security unit, sec unit, which, as in all popular culture there shows, sec units are shown as going rogue and murdering everyone and being villains or henchmen. So not something that is going to be seen as something good. And indeed, if another sec unit ever noticed Murderbot, it would have to, because of its governorship, be forced to report it immediately. So has to it turns out that Art has a full complement medical bay, so it reluctantly agrees to become more human-like because that's the disguise, though it really doesn't want to be, because it doesn't consider itself, Murderbot does not consider itself to be human, and really hates the idea, like the whole thing of like, have human hair on your body, like in just kind of the fine hair that all human bodies have. It's like, no fucking way, kind of, that's how it reacts to it. But eventually it's turned around to that, and also to adjust its leg and arm size, because all sec units are exact same specifications, so they all have the same shape, they all move the same way, and by doing these modifications is able to blend in better. And so it gets off the ship at the kind of the mining site, but the actual mine site, the particular one, is off the map. It's no longer there, and it needs to be able to get to it, but it doesn't have any work permits, because it's not like it's a tourist place where you could just be a tourist going over there. It needs some reason to get there. So it befriends a group of hapless kind of group of researchers who need to go there, and they need security. And it sounds like, yeah, the company that's inviting them there is basically inviting them there so they can get me killed. But it's basically Murderbot's only choice, even though it points this out to them. They're very firm that they want to go, so he helps them to get there. Indeed, the ship that they are on gets flooded with malware just as they're about to dock there, which would have crashed them into the planet's surface. But because Murderbot is there with the assistance of Art in his head, apparently lurking around, able to land it safely, get there, do a meeting with the people, who are like, "Oh, sure we will, tomorrow." And at which point, as they're walking away from it, heavies try and get them. Murderbot, overcomes the heavies. It's like, okay, you need to get out of here. So it gets them on a shuttle thing out of there, in a kind of private thing, and they're away. So that seems to be out of the way, but they really wanted to kill those people. And so Murderbot goes to the site of the trauma, where all the massacre happens, in this highly abandoned area, which has got all these warnings up of like radiation leaks, everything just basically saying, get away, get away, get away. Where it finds a site where it's like, this isn't a site where a lone Murderbot did something. There was incursion of malware through the sexbot things, the sexbots who actually tried to warn the humans about it, but were ignored. And then the sexbots actually tried to help, and were like, storing the information. And this is how Murderbot learns about this, is through their storage. Which, note, there's someone pinged them at the meeting of the assholes who were going to kill the data scientists. Someone pinged him, and it was a sexbot. So I think it's one of the surviving sexbots from this mine. And so Murderbot gets a lot of the info, is able, it's like, really worn down. This is trauma situation for the body of Murderbot and the memory. And it's like, okay, it's got all this information, gets out of there, gets back. And Art because it was so deep in this mine, is out of communication. And Art says, we have a problem, which is how we leave it this time. So, oh boy, I guess we'll find out. I have a feeling that maybe this company that was trying to kill these data people, who were apparently trying to figure out a way of figuring out how to detect alien metals and stuff like that, which would be highly valuable, highly troublesome, because we've learned in this world that if there's alien stuff in a world, it becomes off limit to the companies. It becomes interdict to the company, and it's like, and that's indeed what was a major plot point with the last book, that the planet that they were on, that the people were trying to kill everyone else off for, had alien stuff on it, ancient, or not alien stuff, or just ancient stuff on it. And they wanted to kill everyone else so they could sell the stuff illicitly and make a shit ton of money from it. And in this one, it's like, okay, they're being able to figure out how to find alien ancient stuff that could be a lot of money, and that would be very worth killing these people from. Mayhaps also has something to do with this mine and what was, maybe they're mining and they maybe came upon this stuff again, and it suddenly became a cover-up thing where all the lives of all the miners and sec units and sex bots was probably at forfeit, you wonder, in that kind of a situation. So that's where we're at now so far in Artificial Condition for second of the Murderbot Diaries, which I am, again, quite enjoying. Murderbot is fun. Its interaction with Art has just been really great. Art is a great sidekick character for Murderbot. They have a hilarious scene of them